So the Chicago Bears just did something. They quietly gained the upper hand on the rest of this division. And here's something that's pretty interesting. Actually, when I saw this, I had to double check. And this is from Jeff Hughes from the Bears blog. The Bears had more sacks than the Chiefs, the Lions, and the Bills last year. And they've significantly upgraded their defensive coaching staff and defensive line talent. This is straight from Hughes from the Bears blog. And think about that. In a seemingly deficient part of this team last year, they actually had more sacks than some really dominant teams. They had more sacks than the Chiefs, more sacks than the Lions, and more sacks than the Bills. Those teams had no problem staying competitive and being at the top of the league. So with the changes that the Bears have made, I think the upper hand has been gained. Super eye-opening, right? And I want to talk about how this defensive line very well might be a team strength moving forward. And if that happens, friends, the sky is the limit for our Chicago Bears. The trench work has now been completed. This team has been transformed. So let's talk about something that's flying under the radar heading into this offseason, the Chicago Bears pass rush. And yeah, I said it because in 2025, this group is really going to surprise people big time. And I don't want to be overly optimistic about this season, but every single thing that has fallen in place during this offseason screams that this team is going to be much improved. And if this pass rush hits in the way that I think it's going to, man, we are going to have a really fun year. So I want to start out this video talking about Montez Sweat and his down year specifically. What was the real reason for that? And then let's break down what to expect from this line. So let's start with Montez Sweat. The 2024 season, it was a down one for him, right? But the down year wasn't due to age. It wasn't due to his lack of ability to perform. The guy just played hurt for most of the year. And there's a ton of talk about the defensive end position on this team. I'm saying that should not be the focus because here's why. It starts with a different name, Dennis Allen, our new defensive coordinator. The Bears brought him in to run the defense, obviously, but if you follow the track record in New Orleans, you know what that means. This is a guy who's not afraid to get creative. He doesn't just sit back and wait for things to happen. So many times that's what it felt like in Matt Eberflus's defense, that we are just sitting back, reacting to the offense. Dennis Allen does things a little differently. He is uber aggressive, and the guy just attacks. And more importantly as well, and this is mostly pertaining to our perceived lack of pass rush last year, Dennis Allen builds his pressure from the inside out on his line. So that's a key shift. I mean, for years, Bears fans have been begging for a more aggressive front, right? Something that doesn't rely on linebackers blitzing out of desperation or edge rushers getting double teamed every single play. With Allen's scheme, the philosophy, it absolutely flips. It's now all about collapsing the pocket from the interior right into the quarterback's face. And that's what works because Chicago actually has the pieces to make it happen now. I mean, what are we looking at here? We've got Gervon Dexter Sr. coming into year 3, and the light's really starting to come on for him. The guy has all the tools, size, athleticism, power. He came into camp in incredible shape. He was running drills with the defensive ends, and now he's in a system that lets him attack instead of hesitate. Dennis Allen has been telling the media and his players, I want to do things a little differently. I want you to just go and beat the guy in front of you, knock him on his butt, and we're really going to have something here as a squad. So you might even actually, you might not want to hear this, but you actually might see something out of Zach Pickens. Granted, he's still raw, but if he makes this team, the moment the staff unleashes him and says, go, we'll see if he can hang. It's a philosophy shift, right? And we've heard Allen emphasize just beating the guy in front of you once again. He's making this really simple. Granted, it's a complex scheme, but at the point of attack, he wants you to just beat the guy in front of you. And then we've got solid veterans like Andrew Billings. The guy can just eat space. He can still push the pocket. Now we've got Grady Jarrett. He's in town now, just a pro's pro. A nasty rotation inside the interior of this defensive line is just nasty. So then we're talking about Sweat, and for that measure, Dio. Sweat is now going to have a lot more clean looks on the edge. You collapse the middle of the line, you force guards to actually stay home. then suddenly what happens? Your top pass rusher is one-on-one way more often, and that's when Montez Sweat becomes an absolute game wrecker. That's when you're going to see Dio generating pressure from the right side. But there's a player I'm going to be watching in camp. Last year, this was a huge emphasis in a lot of my offseason stories. I really believe in this player, and I hope under Dennis Allen, we're going to see something happen with Austin Booker. I don't think we need to sleep on him. The kid is twitchy. He's long. He's aggressive. And if we put him and Dennis Allen stunt-heavy overload blitz packages, if he's going to pop, it's going to be in this scheme. It's absolutely tailor-made for him. And he came out of college kind of short on reps, right? Out of Kansas, I believe. But the guy had all the pass rushing tools he could possibly need. He needed to put a little more meat on his bones and get a little more familiar with the speed of the pro game. Hopefully that's happened, and hopefully this new scheme, if there's any scheme that's going to get the most out of Austin Booker that he's going to pop in, it's going to be in this Dennis Allen defense. And the Bears aren't just hoping their pass rush improves. They've built a system designed to absolutely assure that it happens. If you're looking at Dennis Allen getting even 80% of what he had going into Orleans, right? This pass rush is definitely going to turn some heads. And for the first time in a long time, quarterbacks might actually start fearing the Bears again. We will see. That might have gone a little too far. You guys are like, Sean is way too positive, but I'm excited for this season. And let me kind of close with talking about what's up with Sweat and ask a question. Is he actually injury prone? I mean, he made an immediate impact after the Washington Commanders traded him to the Bears mid-season in 2023, and he ended up getting his first Pro Bowl nod. He led 2 teams in sacks the same year, 6.5 with Washington, 6 with Chicago. And then we just look at the 9 games that he had in Chicago. He posted 25 tackles, 4 for a loss, 6 sacks, 14 quarterback hits, 3 passes defense, and a forced fumble. He was just an absolute stud. And then you look at last year. Sure, he played in 16 games. He finished with only 32 total tackles, 9 for a loss. That's good. 5.5 sacks, 2 passes defensed, and 2 forced fumbles. So he also missed the team's Week 9 game against the Cardinals. I think it was a shin injury. And, Hughes on the Bears blog, he also revealed in the July 1st post that it was a little more that Sweat really was riddled with injuries all year. And this is straight from Hughes. The Bears had more sacks than the Chiefs, Lions, and Bills last year. Just wanted to say that again. But the most important thing to track at camp, to the degree will be shown anything of value, is how Dennis Allen is utilizing his defensive line personnel. The second most important thing to track will be the health of Montez Sweat. Sweat dealt with a myriad of injuries in 2024 and had health concerns since entering the league. And the 2025 Bears, we absolutely need him at full strength. But since the engine of this defense is going to truly be from the interior, Montez Sweat is no longer the number one chess piece. He's no longer the king. Maybe he's a knight now. The analogy kind of falls apart. I regret that. But here's hoping that his injury issues don't roll into this upcoming year. You're looking at some of his injuries, though. In 21, his season with Washington, he sustained a non-displaced jaw fracture in Week 8 that forced him to miss 5 games. All right. Placed on the COVID-19 list, that delayed his return to action even longer. And then in 23, he had a minor thumb injury during the preseason, but he didn't miss any games. All these things seem kind of freak. They don't seem chronic, do they? And then he just last year, his name was constantly on the injury report for several weeks, missed 1 game, but he dealt with toe, shin, ankle issues absolutely all season, and now he's 100% healthy. I think you're injury prone until you're not, right? I think. And if he can have a healthy year, we've really got something. But since he stayed in the games, I think it really speaks to his toughness and resiliency as a player. But the Bears need him at full strength. They need everyone at full strength. And the nice thing, though, is that this is actually absolutely a deep team on the interior of the line. We've got Dio in town. We'll see what happens here. And kind of looking at this is a little eye-opening as well. Kind of look at this on paper and see what you think as far as an improved team. So if you're looking at this on paper, and you're looking at having Montez Sweat, Dio Dangbo, And then I think a free agent is still going to be added to this team. I think, let's say it's Matthew Judon. That wouldn't be a bad ad, or possibly Zadarius Smith. Either of these players would be really nice ads at this point. And then you've got some developmental guys. You've got Austin Booker. You've got Dominique Robinson. You've got Zach Pickens. And then you add some absolute studs in there. You've got Jervon Dexter Sr., Andrew Billings, Grady Jarrett, and then we just drafted Shamar Turner. I love Shamar Turner. He's a player that just absolutely plays like his hair is on fire. Hopefully he doesn't have all those personal fouls, but you got to absolutely love what's done with this defensive line. I would really love to see if Booker will pop this year. That would be so much fun. And I think suffice it to say the Bears have definitely gained the upper hand in this division in a really quiet way. I think this is going to be a way underrated position group for the Chicago Bears. And the pass rush is going to be there. The sack numbers are going to be there, not because of Montez Sweat. It's because he's going to be freed up by a really solid and deep defensive line unit, and that's going to be where the main pressure is going to be generated against opposing quarterbacks. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. You always do. If they're negative comments, at least make them funny. I enjoy those as well. And yeah, you guys have been fantastic. Bear down, and I'll continue to be here with Chicago Bears news on the daily. See you later.